Hello everyone and welcome to this webinar. My name is Peter Felsted, and as the editor of Jane's Events Weekly, I'll be chairing the event today, which draws substantially from material gathered by the JDW team in producing our 2018 Annual Defence Report. Those of you perhaps not familiar with the report should take a look in the 12th of December issue of the magazine, where you'll see that the ADR, the mother of all JDW features, pretty much occupies most of the magazine. It's really our take on most salient points in the world of defence throughout 2018 and what these might mean for the year ahead.
Try and provide a quick overview of what happened in Syria. Here you can see our areas of control map from early January compared with what it looked like in the start of this week. You can see that pro-government forces have managed to further consolidate Assad's control over more territory, especially in the southwest of the country. Meanwhile, the Islamic State's territory has been reduced to a pocket around the town of Hajin, which is close to where the Euphrates River crosses into Iraq. Their ability to maintain this pocket has probably been helped by US-backed Kurdish YPG forces being distracted by the Turkish threat to their territory further to the north, which you can see in yellow. The Turkish military and allied rebels launched an operation into the Kurdish enclave around Afrin at the start of the year, and Ankara has been threatening to move against Manbij, which is the Kurdish salient on the western side of the Euphrates. 2018, Israel appeared to step up its efforts against Iranian activities in Syria. According to one official, more than 200 airstrikes were carried out in an 18-month period. Albeit they took responsibility for very few of those. Backed by the Russians, the Syrians claimed they were shooting down a large percentage of the incoming munitions launched by the Israelis, but also the Western powers when they punished a chemical weapons attack in April with a cruise missile strike. However, those claims were undermined when the Israeli military released footage filmed by the optical seeker on a missile, showing it homing in on a Syrian Panzer S-1 at Mezar Air Base near Damascus. Panzer S-1 is a Russian short-rad system specifically designed to shoot down such weapons, so it wasn't doing its job on this occasion. The limitations of Syrian air defences were again highlighted on 17th September when they detected an Israeli incursion and threw up barrages of missiles. And one launched by an S-200 system actually ended up hitting a Russian IL-20M intelligence gathering aircraft. Iranian weapons proliferation elsewhere in the region is also going to attract more attention in 2019 as the Trump administration attempts to rally international support for isolating Tehran as it's part of its wider effort coming out of the nuclear deal earlier this year. At the start of this year, UN experts confirmed that the longer-range ballistic missiles being launched at Riyadh by Yemen's Houthi rebels in 2017 were actually Iranian-made Qiyams, and you can see in the image on the left there an Iranian Qiyam against the remnants of one of the missiles that was launched at Riyadh and then recovered. In their latest report released a few days ago, the UN experts said 3 missiles launched this year also appeared to be Iranian-made Qiyams, which is an improved Scud-B, basically. We might see a bit more of it going forwards, which is essentially slightly more deniable weapons proliferation. And here in the form of the Badr P1, which the Houthi rebels unveiled in October. So my suspicion is this is essentially a locally produced heavy artillery rocket that has been upgraded with a GPS guidance system that was either supplied by Iran or put together with Iranian expertise. And we got hold of some satellite imagery, which you can see on the right-hand side, which shows the before and after images of supposedly a Sudanese camp south of the Yemeni port city of Al-Hodeidah. But before and after it was hit by a battle. The Trump administration's efforts to focus international attention against Iran were undermined by the growing civilian casualties caused by the Saudi-led coalition's military intervention in Yemen. So Trump wants us to look at Iran, but the Saudis are being bad boys at the same time. The most egregious incident happened on 9th of August when a coalition aircraft killed over 40 schoolboys when it bombed their bus parked on a busy street in contravention to really anyone's or generally established rules of engagement. This picture shows one of the friends of the victims holding up the remnants of a paveway that was supposedly found in the aftermath of that particular bombing.
NATO avoided its 11 to 12 July summit in Brussels from becoming a train wreck by preparing a wide range of decisions for Allied leaders to rubber stamp rather than haggle over. Despite U.S. President Donald Trump haranguing allies to spend at least 2% of GDP on defense, and also haranguing Germany for its energy dependence on Russia, the meeting produced one of the meatiest summit statements in years. NATO allies launched an extremely ambitious readiness initiative dubbed the 430s, aimed at making available 30 naval combatants, 30 kinetic air squadrons, and 30 mechanized battalions deployable within 30 days by 2020. The Russian land forces will have received over 2,500 new major weapon systems in 2018, including air, defense, and artillery systems and armor. Army Chief Colonel General Oleg Salyukov said at a press conference on the 1st of October. Relations between Turkey and NATO only got worse in 2018 than they had already become the previous year. This was especially the case with the United States, which slapped sanctions on Turkey on 1 August over the detention of U.S. pastor Andrew Brunson. But there were deeper reasons for the sanctions, including U.S. displeasure over Turkey's plans to buy S-400 air defense systems from Russia in a $2.5 billion deal at the end of 2017 for one S-400 battery with an option for another. In an interview with the Turkish state-run Anatolia news agency on 25 October, Turkish Defense Minister Hulusi Akar said Turkish military personnel would be sent to Russia as of the beginning of 2019 for training on S-400s, and that Turkey would begin preparations for the deployment of the air defense system in October 2019.
Jeremy, I've got a question here with regard to what happens to the American presence in the CENTCOM area when they're getting pulled apart simultaneously by the Russians and the Chinese. Now, what's the evidence of what's going on?
Well, we don't know. We don't have the details yet in terms of exactly what is going to be pulled from CENTCOM. What we've seen so far is Patriot batteries being withdrawn. So there's one gone from, and we verified this with satellite imagery, one gone from Jordan, 2 from Kuwait, and 1 from Bahrain. And so if you're focusing on Iran, and we've got tensions building up with Iran, then one of the key things you want there is air defense, ballistic missile defense specifically. So this is a really interesting move, but I think it's compensated for by the growing capabilities of the Gulf states, and that's where Kuwait is modernising its Patriots. UAE's got Patriot THAAD now. Qatar, as we just reported, is getting its Patriots online now. So there's a lot going on that front.